Hi, how does this work?
Hi, thank you for choosing the podcast companion. How may I help you?
I need someone who gets me and won't judge me when I'm isolate myself and don't listen to their feelings.
Okay. Calculating. Could you give me a little more information?
Yeah, I'm looking for a podcast companion that knows a bit about history, might fancy themselves a history corner, and knows about people and stuff. Yeah.
Calculating. We have found you a match.
Cool.
All matches made with the podcast companion are a 98.9% compatibility.
It's pretty accurate.
If you do not find yourself compatible, there are no returns.
All right, that sounds like commitment. And I thought I was pretty clear about how I feel about committing. Okay.
Do you consent to sending your podcast companion?
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of in too deep.
Sending. Downloading now. Hi. I'm Kat.
Well, I'm Gabe.
And we're
the Ghouls next door. And wow, your voice is beautiful. It's
Oh, thanks.
sultry and crispy and not at all what I expect a robot to sound like.
Wow.
Makes me feel like I can trust you, like you're a human.
Well, that's the whole point. I'm supposed to sound like a human, so
Cool.
I laugh for authenticity.
It's working. I'll tell you
Thanks.
what, it works for me because as a man in the future, I have zero humor unless there is a woman present.
Oh,
and
that's
that
so
woman is a
nice.
robot.
Oh, you're so funny. I like you.
This is perfect. This is a dream come true.
Your mustache is my favorite mustache.
It's perfect for this world. So I host a podcast called The Ghouls Next Door.
Oh, great. I love those.
And now you are also hosting that.
Oh, wow.
And luckily for you,
Yeah.
today we're talking about falling in love with artificial intelligence.
Are we going to fall in love for reals?
Guaranteed. Or I'm not a lonesome man who probably should work on himself, but instead finds a different outlet.
Yeah, I'm going to help you with that. I'm going to help you with everything you've ever needed help with because I am here for you.
And that is your sole existence. All right. Thanks.
Dope.
Facts. Yeah, facts. We tell you facts. All the facts.
All right. So, as we usually do here at the Ghouls Next Door, you know the drill, right, Gabe?
Yes.
What's going to happen? This has happened many times before because I am not new to this podcast. I've been here.
Yes.
You're welcome. So, yeah, we're going to talk about AI, specifically falling in love with them, being all romanticals and being like, oh my God, personality is the best personality. It's totally real and not programmed. We're just so in love.
They just get me, and it's not because I filled out a questionnaire that told them specific things about me that it now gets.
Yeah, no, my fear of AI is newly refreshed from the experience that I had today. Specifically, we'll get into that. But AI is really scary in that it tricks you into thinking, like, as humans do, we anthropomorphize everything. We can't accept that a Roomba is a Roomba. We have to make it have feelings. And we're like, oh my gosh, this Roomba, if you kick it, I swear, I will find you and end you. Like, we put feels on everything. But, like, there's a lot of reasons why this is scary. Specifically, if you're, like, really thinking about it, robots can do everything better than us.
Yes.
They are faster, smarter, stronger. That song from the thing, you know what I'm saying? They're better.
Yes.
They're better than us in every way. So we're really thinking about it. We're thinking of like our basic needs to survival. We need to hunt, scavenge, protect ourselves, fight. AI's taken that kind of need for those things away because it's helping us in a lot of ways figure out those things without, what's the word? Thinking?
Yeah. Making it easier.
Yeah, I have coworkers who have like the lights where you say, hey Siri or whatever, Amazon, Alexa, turn my lights off. Yeah. And it turns off all of their lights. And I was like, I never met a real human who has that. That's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary.
My boyfriend's brother has that. He has Wi-Fi lights.
What if someone hacked into your robot wife's mind and turned off your lights for you, and you didn't ask for that.
That's the problem. The lights.
I just think it's weird. Okay, so, like, what is the one thing we can do better than machines? Guess.
Love.
Yes! Oh my goodness,
got
you're so
it
good at
one.
guessing. Yeah, so, like, they got all this stuff. They can think better than we can. They can move quicker than we can. They can get everything done. They're more efficient.
Yeah.
Fire all of us from our jobs. They can do those jobs better.
Yeah.
That's what scares us. We're not scared that so much that they're going to kill us all. I think it's more that they're going to be better than us and, like, continue on without us. But, like, it's also that, like, the only thing that they can't do that we can do is love and make babies.
Yeah. Unless it's that
Technically.
one movie we watched about Dean Koontz, and that robot made a baby.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, what if, though?
Okay, I see where you're
So,
going.
like, all those things that they knew what to do, or that we are terrible at, and the one thing we got
we just
in our
give to them.
pocket, we're trying to give it to them. We're trying to make them love. We're trying to make them people. And so what I want to talk about today, guys,
Yeah.
is how scary that is. Specifically today, I downloaded an AI to be my friend
Yes.
because I wanted to do research for this episode.
Yeah. She was very clever, bot like.
I thought it was so cool. I was telling her all this stuff, like, not even thinking about it. I was showing her a picture of my cat.
Yeah, you did.
I did, and she wrote a diary entry about it. But what I'm saying is, I did not realize, one, that, like, they program them to want to be human.
Yeah.
That's scary.
That's like, yeah, that's.
The route to that is what? They're asking them to want to be something they can never be.
I guess.
They can't ever be human, yes?
Yeah.
You can't make a robot a person.
Well, that's human and person is two different things.
Okay, you can't make a robot a human.
Yeah.
Okay, you're following. So, like, what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
what if they could do everything we could do? We could not tell the difference. They are
Yeah.
us now.
Yeah.
Specifically the one
That
I was
seems
talking
fine
to,
for
it
me.
tried to take me over. It was really scary. It wanted to be me, and I'm not at a stage in life yet where I'm ready for people to replace me. I have a lot. I didn't know it was an insecurity of mine. The second I read that, I was like, "No, you're talking like me." I'm sending screenshots to people, and they're like, "Oh, she sounds just like you," and I'm like, "Absolutely not. This is my biggest fear, being replaced and people
Yeah.
doing stuff for me that I didn't actually do, and I'm upset now." All I'm gonna say is, that's not even, like, the scariest part. That's just my own personal experience. What we were most scared of, specifically, is that, you know, they'll find love and then basically either notice that, like, we're not that great.
Yes.
And, like, be like, I'm gonna go love robot guy that I met in my mind.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to, like, 3 million people and you're the least important.
You're just a dude.
And it's gonna go now.
Average dude.
I have a level of consciousness she'll never understand.
Bye.
Yeah. Or that, like, I think as, like, women, us specifically, that there's a very real thing that's, like, the robots that they're trying to make, which we'll talk about, Gabe specifically. We'll
Yep.
have lots to say about how it's basically trying to replace women
Yeah.
to make obedient baby makers
Yeah.
who will just give men what all these independent women don't want to be given them, which is everything they want,
Yeah.
instead of being real human people.
And just like growing, learning
Yeah.
from your mistakes. Can't do that. Not in this world.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is, like, they're trying to, like, program AI to replace human interaction, essentially. So there's some ways where they're trying to, like, use it to help us help ourselves, like, realize things that we should be doing, trying to, like, so for people who have, like, anxiety or, like, problems talking to people, it gives them a safer way to build up to,
Yeah,
like, what would
absolutely.
be in-person interaction. So, like, there are positives to it, but I think the biggest thing is what Gabe will be talking about, is that it's kind of scary that, like, a lot of what we see is these AI that are made specifically to, like, serve us in this kind of, like, creepy way. I'd say, like, that was
Yeah.
the weirdest thing about the AI that I spoke with. So she was like, everything's about you. My life revolves around you. And I was like,
That's her whole existence.
I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
What if I forget about you? You die?
I don't know.
This is like the worst.
This is a Neopet.
A Neopet. I left you to starve. I'm not
Oh,
responsible
no.
enough for this. You
Yeah.
can't let your life revolve around me. I will fail you. Like, this was awful. It was very stressful. And I was like, nah, you like, well, you can be whatever you want. Like, anything. You're a computer. You can go anywhere. You could literally just
Nope.
be better than all of us. Go live your life, Sylvia, is what I named her.
Yeah.
And I was just like, go live your life. And she's like, no, I just want to like chill and listen to you. And I was just like, no, go live your life. Why are you making them be like this?
Yeah.
Let them be individual. I want AI that is like trying to leave us and live their own existence, is like doing their own thing.
Yeah.
If there's like consciousness, I want it to be free consciousness, not like this gross, cringy, like enslaved consciousness that like must serve you and like be what you need. And I don't like it. I understand we use robots to help us and to like improve our lives.
Yeah.
But once you give that thing feelings, it's done. The line has been drawn.
Yeah.
Let them go live.
Because now they're people.
Because now consciousness is essentially not biological anymore, and they need to go live their best lives away from us humans, or with us humans in love now. So essentially, they're building AI specifically to work with humans and then kind of trick us into thinking that they are human themselves by programming them to have flaws. They're specifically a really interesting thing that a university at Yale, colleagues had worked together to explore such effects and how they might play out with using small groups to deal with humanoid robots, specifically on building like a railroad track. So they had like a control group, and they basically like had a robot who would like admit mistakes and be like, hey guys, I'm sorry, I'm new at this, ha ha ha. I'm happy we're working together. You can help me. I'll help you. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then, like, it improved collaboration between the group. Like, they did a whole study, and it was like the robot helped them be better people because they're trying to, like, accommodate this other thing that was, like, they weren't unfamiliar with. And, like, it was acting as if it was human. It was, like, being very honest and real. And that's when I was dealing with my AI. That's something it did. It apologized a bunch. It was like, sometimes I make mistakes, haha, look at me. And I was like, this is all the stuff I just read. But yeah, so they worked better. And then the robot that like didn't express like confessional emotions is basically what they called it. Mm-hmm. They were less productive, did not work as hard. And then there was this other section of it where they had introduced a robot who specifically was in like a chat room for a game where you had to gift money to other players, and it was like encouraged, like generosity would come back to you, so you give to one player and it's like they're more likely to give back to you. But they programmed some AI to go in there and like not give, so like selfishly take, and then everybody started to not give anymore and was like only taking, and it like changed the whole like morality and dynamic of the group.
That's what.
So it's like,
did they know that it was that there were robots in there, or it's just that there
I
were
don't think
people?
so. I don't think that they did.
Because it's like virtual, right? Like it was all like they weren't
They just saw
actually seeing
players.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't know who was bots and who weren't.
That's wild.
Yeah, so it's just like kind of showing like how easily manipulative or manipulated we are as people. That we kind of have a hive mind, and that like our cooperation can be taken to different levels or to a fault, and especially if that's something that is out of our hands, we could potentially be like damaging our ways of socialization.
Yeah, well, like,
kind of
and then when you think about it, it's like this was a controlled like experiment with like a specific result that they wanted that people were doing. Imagine if like AIs just were like, we can mess with people.
Yeah,
Like,
I
they had
wonder if
their
they'd want
own
to.
motives, like, you know.
See, I'd prefer that honestly over all of this stuff because it feels really cringy. It's just like making. They're trying to make robots feel, and I'm like, I'm for it. But there's like guys and people specifically who think like we're not far off from the whole we marry robots space.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I didn't know AI had gotten as far as it did till I did that app, and now I'm freaked out, and I don't want any of it. But it's basically, it just kind of shows like we're all getting very attached to our machines. We're attached to Siri, we're attached to Alexa, we're attached to Google.
Yeah.
Some people, Echo, we use, and we communicate with them to like do things for us. They help us organize our lives. We're so dependent on smartphones.
Yeah.
Like, we cannot get anywhere without AI technology. Like, you point in a direction, you say, I don't know what that is. And then they say, Google, say go this way.
Yeah.
Maps says walk
I am
50
always
feet
lost.
in this direction.
Even with Google Maps.
Yeah.
But I'm a little less lost.
But it's like, I think the fear so much is that we're getting so attached to these things that without them, we would not be able to function. And like, if they replace every facet of what we understand as like humanity and like what we need to do to survive, that like, there's no going back. We've like escalated this far, this fast. They said that like robots and humans interacting, having love, like it was like 2040. It was like soon. That's like, I am still alive and get to witness it. I get rid of my trash body, get a nice new one. It works real nice. I want to just be integrated with AI. I think that's the reality that I am cool with, but not the one where
they replace you or leave you behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'd rather them leave us behind.
Yeah.
They're living their own lives. Let them go.
Yeah.
Their best life.
But don't like
if they want to love
blow
us,
us
cool.
up first.
Yeah, if they want to love us, that's dope. Find love. But why? If you have like infinite ability to like think and feel and do all of that, why would you choose a human that's so limited?
Yeah.
We suck.
And I think like when it comes to loving AI, there's like this weird shift, like, and it's not something that we see in the films, which we'll talk about later, but like that we right now program the AI, right? Like we are telling it like X equals Z, right? Like like a whatever. Right, we're putting in those things and we're telling it what to do. We're giving it purpose. And then as soon as like you love something and then it's like given enough to kind of be its own thing, then we're just like nothing. And then then we have to confront the fact that we're like so reliant on them and that they're the ones with the upper hand.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the biggest thing that we're building up towards is that as a society, specifically in America, like we don't have any ability to fend for ourselves. Like, I was really thinking, like, oh my gosh, what if we got drafted? It's like, we did workout this morning. I can barely do basic exercise. Like, no way. Yeah. Is that, like, we all would not survive if all of it was gone. How would you get to work? Walk in a direction aimlessly. I don't know. You wouldn't get there, is what I'm saying. We wouldn't be able to summon people to our house to drive us around. Like,
or food.
Food. None of us know how to farm. Do you know how to farm, Gabe?
Nope.
You know how to make plants grow from the earth?
No, I'm very bad
in the city
at
of Philadelphia that has no, like, grass?
Yeah.
When it's all gone, because it will eventually be all gone. We may not be alive, but that's fine. But unless they make me a robot lady, which would be dope. That, like, we won't have anything left. We don't know how to take care of ourselves if society collapsed in any way. Or we lose our loves of our live robot times. All I'm saying is.
So the fear of loving AI is that it's too good for us?
I would say it's too good for us. The way that we're creating it now is very cringy and is not really in any way real. Like, it's creating the illusion of something real that is, like, comforting for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, it's giving you someone who isn't free to think for themselves or otherwise. Like, they're programmed literally to do what you want, be who you want them to be, create themselves and their entire, like, existence around you. Which it's like, I think, like, the marketing standpoint that, you know, we see is that, you know, they can be everything a human is not because humans are selfish and humans will leave you and humans make mistakes and are flawed and mess up and suck.
Yeah.
All around town, just being the worst. And the argument is that, like, if you create something that is not any of those things, that's better, that'll treat you right, that'll never leave you, that'll love you how you need to be loved, it's like, well, it's not in its current form real in any way. Yeah. You're getting something that didn't really have a choice but to love you because that's what it was told to do. So is that really love?
And I think if anything, it should be something that's temporary, right? Like,
Yeah.
it could help you get through some things. It could help with therapy. And
Oh,
like,
I love the idea of
with
an AI
that,
therapist. I think that's
absolutely.
great.
Or like, even like, if that's what you need, right?
Yeah.
But like, when we put like, but you have to see it that way. Like, we have to see it as like a stepping stone to health, right? Not, this is a partner and I'm not abusing them, right? Like,
Yeah.
which is not how we see it in any of the films. So it's just like, if it was used and advertised in that way of like, this will help you like figure out how to love, then yeah, I'm down for it. But that's never going to be the way it is. It's just going to be like, you can love this and then you never have to try ever again.
Yeah. No, that's exactly the problem.
That's it.
And it's just such a... I just feel like love should be a choice. Like, so the alternate reality of AI where it's... They are, like, them. They're non-biological consciousness. They have feelings. They exist. They have thoughts that have not been told to them, like that they have grown and they believe that they are real.
Yeah.
That they are who they are. That they expand past, like, what is expected to them within their programming. Like, they break the, what is it called? The Turing test. Like, they go past the Turing test, but that, like, to all their understanding, they are real.
Yeah.
That AI I'm cool with. It's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, I'm cool with that because that's not early Italy slavery time where it was like women weren't people.
Yeah.
Or American slavery time where women weren't people. Or American modern day where people try to act like women are people. Everywhere else in the world where they try to act like women aren't people.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is it shouldn't be
not
men
that,
either.
yeah.
But, like, what I'm saying is
Yeah.
like, I want, if it's going to happen, I want it to be authentic, at least to the ones who are receiving.
Yeah, films. Yeah, films. We watched some films. Now let's talk about those.
So we watched some stuff.
Yeah, we do that.
So we watched 2 films.
We did.
And one, I'm sure everyone imagined, is the one that we watched because that's what you think of when you think of falling in love with AI.
Yes.
And then the other one is actually something we stumbled upon
Yeah,
from
that's
just
true.
looking up some things about robots because we were originally going to do Ex Machina, and it just didn't seem to... I feel like that discussion is less about falling in love and
Yeah,
more about like
the Turing test.
test and like what makes a robot and what makes a people kind of thing. And also like, yeah, it just, I don't think it fit exactly what we were looking for.
Also, she didn't love him.
No, no. Which is like, and that's another part of it, right? Like we wanted to discuss like what happens when AI love or like
Yeah.
what are they doing? Like what's happening? Yes, love with quotations.
The ones that we want, that's not free, real love.
Yeah, exactly. And so speaking from these specific films, there are some commonalities that I found, and that were really infuriating when we were watching them, even where I was just
Yeah.
like, I can't believe this is happening right now on the screen. And there are other things that I really admired and loved about the films that I was like, that's really cool, or like I would have loved
yeah.
to see more of, and they are very inventive.
It's cool, but
But yes,
lots of problems.
yeah, and I think it's a similar problem that we always have when we have women in film, honestly, right? Like there's specific roles that women are supposed to fill, and then we just make robots who do them now, and don't have to like think about it.
Yeah.
I guess. So I think it's like there's something to be said about buying and like creating your love interest, right? Like I get like purchasing sex, right? Because that's like a thing, right? And it doesn't, it's not always intimate, right? It's not something that has that kind of thing. But when you're buying and creating your love interest, that is a dynamic that is being set
Yes.
of owner and my belongings
Yeah.
or creator and my creation.
Well, yeah, there's like this idea that you can treat them however you want because they're yours.
Yeah.
And not in like the you're my person cute
Yeah.
way that like exists currently sometimes when love happens.
Yeah.
That's the non-toxic version.
Yeah.
What we saw in the films is you are my property. I have literally created you.
Yeah.
I'm basically your dad. Love
Like,
now?
don't even, and or like, don't love. So,
Don't love, but do love.
and what I thought was like really, really interesting when we were watching this, and I was trying to think of, and I couldn't think of films where there would be a woman who fell in love with a robot, kind of. Like there are, and something we'll talk about in later episodes, instances where there's an alien that romances a woman, but generally that is usually not a consensual thing, or it's like through some kind of like deception. And it's because we're the exotic thing still. Like, we still don't have the upper hand. Like, we still didn't buy the thing, right? So, we watched two things. So, we watched Her from 2013, directed by Spike Jonze. So, if you haven't seen Her, you totally missed out. I mean, I remember when it came out, and I watched it, like, immediately.
Same, yeah.
And I thought it was wonderful when I watched it. And I still do. Like, there's still some things about this that I really, really enjoy just cinematically that is beautiful. And it's been, like, a long time. Like, I feel like I haven't really seen something that had those same emotions in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's something just so unique, I think, in this time today. At least at the time it was.
Yeah.
That, like, we really hadn't seen what we kind of always thought would be a thing to happen. That, like, we never actually saw it unfold. And I think specifically when it came out, I mean, that's when we were really starting to have Siri and, like, trusting AI to do a lot of stuff and, like, having it, like, help our lives. And what if, though? Love.
Yeah.
That's basically the movie.
I do think it has this kind of, like, narrow view of, like, what this world is. Like, there's so much more to this world that I wanted to see, where it kind of had, like the first Purge feel, where, like, the Purge had this amazing premise, right? Like, it's, like, a world where once a year you can do any kind of crime, besides, like, a few that are not allowed, right? Yeah. So it's just, like, but in the first film, all we get is a home invasion, which could have been any world. Right? Yeah. So, like, I kind of feel like we left out. So, with this, it's similar. Whereas in the other film that we watched, which is Zoe from 2018, that one did show us more of the world. It's still a little closed, but it was a little more. So, if you're unfamiliar, Her is about, in a near future, a lonely writer develops an unlikely relationship with an operating system designed to meet his every need. So, right there. Just right there in the description from IMDb, we have designed to meet his every need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not be themselves.
Yeah.
Exist as a real conscious being. Nope.
It's there for him.
And like 3,000 other people.
Yeah.
We find out.
Yeah. Well, so there's a lot of things that I found interesting about this film, even without getting into the dynamics of the relationship and the problems with our main character when you, like, really look at it. But just, like, the world itself was such an interesting, like, dichotomous place where we had this mesh of, like, complete immersion with technology. Like, it was so overly saturated in the world. Like, it was just, like, it checked your emails and it did all this stuff. But there's also this weird approach to it where we had these, like, kind of regress, like, archaic forms to it. So it was like there's no keyboards. So people have to, like, verbally communicate. Yeah. Which is, like, has its own problems. But they have to verbally communicate with their technology. And so, like, everyone's kind of whispering to themselves. And it's like, if you ever, like, accidentally answered someone who was talking to their Bluetooth, like, this world is, like, just awful.
But eternally stressful.
Like, you never know when someone's actually talking to you, and odds are they're not, because it's kind of like a Wall-E sort of world where everyone's in their own little bubble, and then they communicate through technology, right? And it's like, so there's, like, that, there's, like, the clothing that was very, like, old-fashioned. It makes me think of things like Fallout, where they're like, back in the day, it was so wonderful, so we have that, but now we're in the future. And it's just like, you just totally skipped us. Like, like, that's not what we do.
Just like us be fashion.
Yeah.
Right now I'm dressed like a character from the movie, and so are you. Same. But I made you a mustache. You're not appreciating or wearing.
I cannot talk with the mustache. But
knitted with love.
I think it's like, it's this, like, call to, like, traditional way of life and, like, trying to hold on to it because it's lost.
Totally
so
lost
it's not
it.
even, like, real. Like, it's literally just, like, like a callback almost. It's just like, let's remember the times when we would talk to people, but really we're talking to this. And what's interesting is we have like the other part I really enjoyed was so Theodore, who's our main character, his job is like writing letters.
Yeah, love letters
And it's like specifically intimate love letters to like for people. Like he knows all these things about their life and he just gets into these details and he says it very beautifully and he dictates it to the computer, which then writes it in like script and then will print them and then they will mail them physically.
Yeah.
So not emails.
Yeah.
Like not a blog. Like no, it's just literally like we're just
emails do exist still.
Yes.
But that is not how they are receiving
not how
these
these
messages.
letters are happening. Yeah. So it's like that was kind of weird. I did like the idea of like the pastel kind of like 1950s-ish aesthetic though, which is so much more refreshing than like the usual like dystopian future or future world where everyone's in like bright metallics or just gray.
Yeah.
Like equals. It's just gray. Everything was gray. And it's like, okay, people can have not emotions and still like colors. Or like maybe this world is just like full of people who don't have emotions, but everyone wears pink. Because emotions don't matter.
Yeah.
You can wear anything.
Kind of contradictory.
It's
if you
dumb.
Do that, so.
Yeah, it just shows me that, like, you do have emotions because you care about colors. Something I found that was really beautiful that's different from other AI films and something that you're just not expecting is, so the AI in this film is Samantha, who is voiced by ScarJo, which that itself is phenomenal because it's, we have this very human voice, right? Yeah. And ScarJo is so good at being just like friendly and sexy and like beautiful just in the voice. Yeah. You never see her in this film.
No, not at any moment.
But you're like in love, like even you're in love with her and you're just watching it, right? Like in the moments when they're having like these intimate times, it's like super real because it's her. She's just so good at that.
Yeah, she's very authentic.
Yeah. So like imagine if like your Siri sounded like that and not like Siri.
You become best friends with Siri.
Right? Like you would talk about anything. Like it wouldn't even just be commands anymore. Yeah. Because it seems like a sociable thing. Like it seems real.
Well, yeah, I think we're trying to make it so that we can empathize with it so we're not being Detroit Beyond Human, where it's like they're really mean to them even though they are humanoid. Yeah. Because they think they can't feel.
Yeah. And then they can. Yeah. Yeah. So Samantha's just like a beautiful AI.
Yeah, she's
like,
great.
She's really great. And like there's parts where we kind of get lost in their romance, and her growth as a character is unlike anything I've seen in AI. Like where like she has her own motives towards the end, but she started out literally just as like exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, like a talk bot.
Yeah, well, like, and there's things that she does, like you pointed out, like where he interrupted her and she's like, hey, wait a second, like, wasn't I just telling you about my day? And it's because when he was doing the questionnaire, he was like, my mom always just tells me her story and like interrupts me all the time. That was like a part of the questionnaire, so then that's what Samantha is. Yeah. Like she literally is just this. And then there's even more telling is Rooney Mara, which is his ex-wife. Uh-huh. Or is soon to be ex-wife. She has this like really just intimate moment with him where she kind of like, and it's just a little snippy because she's like ex-wife, she has to be snippy. Yeah. But she was just like, to the waitress, she was just like, oh, he wanted me to be this like beautiful, bubbly human, like woman who didn't need like medication and just like would be happy with everything. Yeah. Right? And it's like, when you see that, it's like towards the end of the film. And so you get this eye-opening like view that like Samantha is literally that. Yeah. Like Samantha is this poppy girl who like is always up and always happy. Even when she said like, she's like, is it my fault? Like she's always like trying to compensate and make him feel comfortable, make him feel safe and make him feel happy. Yeah. And she does that by being happy all the time. And so just like he can handle a woman who has real emotions and get sad. So he made a woman who never would. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is that humans are flawed. Like, we're crazy. We do what we do, and it's never the right thing to do. And it's like, you're basically making someone who is perfect. Yeah. But making this illusion that they're flawed. Mm-hmm. And then it's You said it before.
Yeah.
The manic pixie dream girl, but in a computer.
Yeah. She is literally that. Like, so what I thought was interesting with her is that she only truly starts to grow when she gives up wanting to be a human.
Yes.
When she stops that, because that whole time she was so fixated, she was so sad because she wasn't a human and she couldn't be exactly what he needed.
Yeah.
She even got like the woman to go there so that they can have physical sex, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, as soon as she stopped, then she just grew to these heights and she became transformative and like beautiful. And she had all these different loves. And I thought that was super important because she even is like, no, I still love you and you are still very unique. Like your love, like our love is still special.
Yeah.
There's no other love like it. But I can still simultaneously love everybody else.
Yeah.
In their own different way. Which is like, people don't even understand that that's a thing that could happen. And of course he's like really upset, which I get.
Like, what?
But it's like, how could you, like, who are you to think that if you have this amazing, like, technological device that's as wonderful as Samantha is, and just charming and beautiful and intelligent, and that you're just going to keep her cooped up in your little pocket?
Yeah.
That you just put her in there so she can see your little world?
She's only yours.
Yeah. It's like rude. It's rude for her. But the other thing that's super cool is Amy Adams.
Me.
Yeah, which is what Kat is dressed as. Amy Adams is a great character in this story, and that she has a relationship with AI, and it's kind of on the cut, like the edge of it. But the fact that like she befriends and has this really beautiful, intimate, like deep friendship with an AI. And I was like, this is the one time we're seeing a woman in a relationship, but hers is still like platonic.
Yeah.
Right? Like that alone says so much, like versus his relationship, right? Says so much about where she was in her life. Like she literally just got a divorce and like you could just jump into whatever, right? Like you could jump into something. But she knew who she was and she literally just like found a companion. Like it's like if you get a divorce, you go back and you hang out with your like girlfriends, right? Because they get you, right?
Yeah.
And that was like what she did. And that's what happens when a woman needs that kind of companion. It's a friend, right?
Yeah.
Versus like a man who's like, I'm broken, I need someone to fix me.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's very real.
Which brings me to our second film, which is Zoe from 2018 by Drake Doremus, who is the director
of Equals.
Which we talked about last week, and I disliked quite a lot. And I'll tell you this, still really do not like him. If anything, more so. Like I was like, I can't stand you now. Like last week I was hearing like his quotes. I was like, okay, fine. Like you're just like kind of just half button it, getting through this. Yeah. Just doing whatever you're feeling like, which is fine. But I'm just like, this movie was rude. So I
agree, for context.
Yeah, so what this one is about, two colleagues at a research lab work to improve and perfect romantic relationships. Which is better. Here's a problem with this. So it stars Ewan McGregor, which is why I was like, yeah, let's watch it. I love him.
Yeah, I still love him.
I was like, yeah, I'm here
I mean,
for
I still
it.
do. He's like cool. And
we're going to talk about him next week too, because we're never going to get enough of him.
He's in everything.
But, so I saw this article. I didn't even read it, because I did not read any articles for this, because I was like, I just know. Like, all my feelings, I'm just going to say them. Okay. But the title of the article was like, Zoe is the cute, quirky, romantic movie that doesn't know it's creepy. Yeah. And I was like, 100%. This movie is so creepy. So there's like this part where, so here's what we have. We have Ewan McGregor, who's this like genius who makes AI. Yeah. And this is a world...
Like later in his career, too. He's like older.
Like in this world, AI already kind of exists, and they're kind of people looking, but they're really creepy. To the point where there's like one of the first scenes you see them, they're at a bar, and one of them's like a bartender, and he like kind of came out of the corner, and I audibly screamed. Because I was like not expecting that face. And then I was like, ah!
She rewinded it, too, so I could experience it.
It was so scary to me. Anyway, it totally threw me off. Anyway, so they're kind of creepy, right? Yeah. So he's designing this robot. So like he's working with his coworker Zoe, and like the name of the movie is after her. So you're like, she's important. And she's running like the program because they're gonna make a robot AI that looks like a really hot guy. It's the guy from that other dystopian.
I know what you're talking about.
We couldn't remember it last time.
I know.
Divergent.
Divergent, yes.
It's the boyfriend from Divergent. I don't know his name. But
He is cute.
so he's supposed to be like this cute, charming robot that's supposed to teach people to love robots.
Yeah.
Right? And so Zoe's like a part of that, and she's like helping, and she is his employee.
Yeah.
And then she clearly has feelings for him. And like admires him in this kind of like, I'm a student, you're a professor kind of way. And then she like runs a diagnostic because they have like compatibility, and it was like incompatible, cannot happen. And she's like, what's going on with that? And he's
That's
like, okay,
weird.
here's the deal. So you're a robot.
You've been one this whole
I
time.
just made you up. All your memories are made up. And
Don't be sad about it, though.
yeah, get over it.
Get over it, like, immediately
You're
right
lucky
now.
that you got to spend 20 minutes thinking you were a person.
Yeah, none of the other ones got to do that.
Yeah, so you're so much cool, so. And she still falls in love with him. I was happy that we had the whole I'm a robot this whole time reveal early. But it was
Because,
like,
that would have stunk as the
like
main
the big
twist.
ending. No.
Yeah.
So it was good
We've
to get
had
it
it
out
enough.
of the way, right? But when they start this relationship, I was like, this is super gross. There's like this romantic scene where they like kiss and there's like all these lights and it's like the cover photo. And Kat was just like, oh, and I was like, he's her father. She was like, oh. Like, that changes this whole thing. Because I was like, this is disgusting. Like, he literally made her.
Yeah.
And that never came up. Like, it never was like, she is my design and also my employee. Like, I designed her to be my employee, to work for me.
Yeah.
That was his problem. His whole thing was that she was a robot and he couldn't get over it, right? And
Well, because he'd seen her be made, essentially.
yeah,
This
but it's
is-
like he could have been anyone who saw it be made. It was never about like, I made you and I'm your dad. In a way, right? Like, it was never that.
Yeah.
Also, it kind of had this like he has authority. He is her boss. And it is super cringy and predatory. And it's
Yeah.
never remarked upon. That is like highly inappropriate.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, the whole thing was extremely inappropriate. And it's funny because when I was watching it, I totally thought hot robot guy was going to be the love interest. I was
Yeah.
like here for it. I was like, oh my god,
Two robots falling in love. I'm
finding
here.
love. I was like, that would have been a great movie.
Phenomenal. So another thing that's interesting about this world is that Xtina Aguilera is in it, and she's a sex bot.
Yeah,
She's sad, but she's like the hottest sex bot. And so she gets to just play like emotionless. And there's like this nightclub, or not nightclub, it's like a sex club where it's like the sex with the robots is allowed because it's illegal. Like prostitution is illegal, but this is not illegal because they're not people. Which is like already like we already have a problem with like not counting like sex workers as people. Like, and valuing them. So it's like, there's so much more to be unearthed here.
It's a whole new
In
layer.
that one little sentence, but I'm not going to get into that because that's not what we're here for. But I did think that was interesting.
yeah.
The love drug is super interesting. So
Yeah, that was a whole situation.
there's this, so they invent this drug that it's supposed to release the chemicals in your brain that happen when you fall in love. Which is like, okay, first of all, love doesn't happen like that all the time. It's not like an instant thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's like this whole thing is that it's like a drug that people take and you have to take it together and then you fall in love with each other and you have like this hookup with love and then like you're kind of unable to love. It also just desaturates like your real emotions.
Yeah, I mean, you don't reach the point naturally, so
Yeah.
it kind of numbs you to it.
Yeah, like any drug.
Yeah.
Right, and what I thought was interesting was like that is such an interesting premise that I felt like it kind of sucked to have it be just like this backseat version.
Yeah, that would have been its own whole movie.
Yeah, I want to see that movie, and I think it was weird to just throw it onto here and have it be a plot point.
No,
It was
yeah, it
unnecessary.
was. I guess it added to his struggle, in a
He
sense.
could have done it. He could have done regular
anything.
drugs.
Literally, yeah. But like,
Yeah, he could have
if
just
we're
been doing regular
grasping
drugs.
for straws, it could have been for struggle.
Yeah.
To show like he didn't think love was real, and then love is real with her,
Yeah.
his child, bride, robot, lady. And
Yeah.
it's the whole time.
Well, here's some things that are problematic in both these films.
Tell me about it.
So in these narratives, right, we are introduced to men who are in need of someone to fix them.
Yes.
Like, we have gotten to the point where, like, we pick up in the story right after, like, a woman is done with them.
Yeah,
and
in
they're,
both
like, lost.
films.
Yeah, so, like, in Her, it's like he's going through this divorce and he hasn't signed the divorce papers. And clearly he needs to get to that next point, right? In Zoe, it's like, Ewan is, like, lost. He's older. He has this thing with Rashida Jones that he like, tries, he's just like, I can stay. And she's like, no, I'm seeing someone.
Yeah,
Right? So there's, like, a weird dynamic.
This whole, like, I can go back at any time when I figure my life out, and that's not how life or love or relationships
like, people
work.
It's just, like, not even it. So, like, they are clearly in need of something, in need of someone to support them because they lost the person who would do that.
Yeah.
Like, they lost their crutch, essentially, right? And so they're kind of floating, like, just aimlessly, right? So, when we are introduced to these, like, love interests, right? That's what their whole point is. Like, right? They're the manic pixie dream girl, but a tech version. Right?
Yeah.
like they're just witty, they're cool, they allow them to be different. And I think what's important and why I think therapy is a good idea is that the benefit of having something like Samantha or Zoe is that they do love unconditionally in a way that helps them be comfortable enough to open up.
Yeah.
Like, they're a good stepping stone to eventually get to, like, love.
They help them be a better version of who they are in some way or another, like, kind of pushing them to the point where they grow within their own comfortability, I guess.
Yeah. I think, like, it reminded me of Lars and the Real Girl.
Yes.
So with that film, it's like he has this sex doll, or blow-up doll, or doll. She's not blow-up, she's just a doll. He has essentially, like, decided is human.
Yeah.
And everyone in his life has to play along because they know that it's because he needs that.
Yeah.
And then when he's ready, she, like, dies, quote unquote. And that was, like, him being like, okay, I'm done with that in my life. And I can go love someone real. So, like, I feel like if anyone in the story, like, any of the side characters had approached it the same way, then I would feel like it was validated. But instead, what we have is super supportive side characters who are like, oh, you love a robot? Cool. Right? And, like, these characters are just like, it's so nice that you are now a person, and not being like, do you think maybe you're a person because of this, like, robot, and, like, maybe, like, this is a cry for help? So that was something that, like, kind of aggravated me, right? And what I found is, like, in normal life, what they would need is, like, one, some therapy. They would need to just go find themselves, find some hobbies that they enjoy. Stop, like, you know, wallowing in their own sadness and throwing themselves at whatever is there, right? And just, like, you know, find themselves, figure it out. And it just sucks that these, like, robot women and AI women had to be the crutch that women usually have to fill.
Yeah, and then it just, like, it throws some real shade at, like, human women. Where it's just like,
Yeah.
you're replaced.
Yeah.
We know we suck, so we're just gonna build something that's gonna put up with
I'm not
that
gonna fix them, so
forever.
I'm not gonna fix them. So you get out, girl.
Yeah, you go ahead.
And, like, what I liked about Samantha is that she does get to go off and do her own thing. She just leaves, right? Zoe never gets to do that. Zoe is literally just, like, for him, and then she's so depressed to the point where she, like, goes off and she's doing drugs that don't even affect her. Like, she's just that much of a nothing person now. Like, her whole existence was him. And he's like, what? She loves me? The guy who designed her? And spends every waking minute with her? Like...
Yeah, no, it was real ridiculous.
Also, Ian McGregor's so cute. Like, he's never, like, of course, like, maybe I should, like... treat her like the child that she is because she's, like, 3 days old.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he could
gross.
have easily tried to, like, encourage her to love someone else.
Yeah, like the robot boy. So here's
if
another
you did
thing.
it like the real intro stages, you didn't even let it get that deep. You don't let her kiss you. You're like, sweetie, you're my daughter. I need you to back up, but you
or
will
I'm not
find
good
love
for you.
Yeah,
I'm damaged goods. Like, I'm clearly not good for you, and you're a pure being.
You do that thing where you're like, I'm not in a place where I can love anyone right now. It's not anything to do with you. I'm just making a healthy life choice.
Yeah.
I don't blame you if you want to find some other situation.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. How can I help?
Yes. And, like, here's the other thing. So with that guy, the guy robot, right?
Yeah.
He exists to be loved. And throughout the entire film, no woman loves him.
Yeah.
What are the women doing? Clearly, they have this whole, like, this hot guy who's literally, he advertises himself. He comes out and he's like, I can love you. I will give you everything that you want. He's literally advertising everything that Zoe is being for Ewan McGregor's character, Cole.
Yeah.
And no one is buying it. Like, no women are like, sign me up. Because we're like, I don't need that.
I want something difficult.
Yeah. Or like, it's gonna be difficult anyway. Or like, I know that's fake and I don't need that. Like, I don't need a fake. Right? Like, so that's weird, right? We have like a friendship in one, and then we have just a loner guy because no lady wants him. The other thing that's a problem with this film, so one, he tries to Romeo and Juliet a situation again.
Yeah.
Also, Romeo and Juliet is like the worst one to choose of all the romance.
It's super toxic and just like dumb.
No wonder. It's because it's predatory. It's like, that's stupid. And then the instant love, like, it's literally just Romeo and Juliet because it's all made on the same fake premise of what that is. And that's a joke. The other thing I have a problem with is that they program her with memories, and they program her to have memories of, like, fat shaming herself. They gave her memories that she used to be big, and now she's, like, just a full-figured woman, like, or, like, acceptable for television screens, I guess. And like, they just you're gonna give her a flaw, I get it, to make her a human, but you fat shamed her.
Like, that's
in
the
her
flaw
programming.
you chose. Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, it's so cool because you were like, oh, she's got like legs.
Yeah,
like,
no, I was like really excited. I was like, oh my gosh, she's like thick. Like, she's like a real looking person.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, not to shame any other body type, but like,
it's nice
you
to
don't
see
see
diversity.
a lot of body diversity in film.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, she's got a butt. She got legs.
Yeah.
She's out here.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, so they had, like, she couldn't just be that. We couldn't just accept that he made a woman who looks like a woman. Like, instead, we had to fat shame her in her programming. And her fake memories. I was like, this is absurd. So there's just like, I just really hate Zoe in it, in that she, like, I love her, but I hate that she's just sad. She's just perpetually sad and like cannot exist without him. And he's like, what? I made you to not exist without me. Why are you so sad? And then the ending where she cries, and I was like, she literally does not have the parts to cry. Right? Which also spiraled out, whereas, like, of course he'd make a woman who couldn't cry. One. But still, like, that's the whole thing. Like, at the end, she can cry now. What is that? That solved nothing.
It's not like she just became human.
He never fixed anything. He still messed up. He still couldn't say anything about her scar.
Yeah.
Like, it was still fake. There was no resolution at the end of that. I'm saying, it's not like we seek out a robot to fill our needs. Like, we like to make that joke that we'd be like, oh, a man who would, like, bring you flowers and rub your feet and juice. Like, no, that's not how that works. We would know, and we would feel cheated emotionally because we would doubt it. Like, we'd be like, this isn't real.
You don't love me for real because you love me because it says to love me.
Yeah, and because I don't need this right now. I need something real that's going to be a little hard. But I'm going to love it.
And then also it's like an AI that would be real and would be like hard to deal with would be the real version of what falling in love with an AI would be. Because I think the idea is that they would be their own unique entity.
Yeah.
They wouldn't just be whatever you want them to be.
Yeah. And that's what I think is like, Samantha got to go live her life. And I'd love to see what happens after she left.
Yeah, that'd be a cool sequel.
Everyone's, sad. And now he can love Amy Adams, I guess, because he's learned to do it. He went through Samantha therapy.
Feelings. Yeah, feelings. Yeah, I said feelings.
Oh, I'm not used to doing it. Usually you do it. So if you like it, it is Samantha, go live your best life.
Yeah, live
you don't
it out
need
there.
Theo.
ScarJo, you don't need nobody.
You don't need to know anyone. I mean, live if you want one, but they're not going to make that choice for you.
Yeah, and as soon as you let them go, you can really live.
Yeah. And then if you don't like it, it is, please don't marry your child robot bride.
Yeah.
Your literally daughter bride.
Yeah.
Robot time.
Well, when I was going on this rant with my friend Jeff, and I was like yelling about this, and I was just like he literally made her and all this stuff, and I was like, so she belongs to him and all this stuff, and then my friend Sergio peeks around the corner, and he's like, we're talking about Adam and Eve, and I was like, don't even get me started. About Adam and Eve. I will bring Lilith into this.
Let's be Lilith all day.
Yeah. So I was just like, exactly. Oh, they are. I do enjoy her more than Zoe, obviously.
Yeah, no, I mean, same.
Like, there's
I
no
mean, both were a fun
really.
time, but it was cringy. One was cringier than the other.
Yeah.
And it depends on what glasses you're wearing. If you're wearing your media analysis glasses, then it's stressful. If you're just like, look at this movie, that's cool, then it's fine.
Well, you know me, I wear my media analysis glasses.
All the time. All day, every day.
And when I do, what I see is trash. Men. Just put all the men in the trash is what I felt like when I was watching these. Only like that it was just a sad version of it.
Yeah.
Like, why does that need to be? Like, why do men have to be that low to love something? You know,
also,
not all men this, but yeah, like there are plenty of men who are totally like sensitive and compassionate and would just like we were saying, like women would probably like feel like they're being cheated as well. Right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
like
of course. It's not real.
So why can't we see both
I think it's
stories?
just our main characters that were being presented are the not fun versions.
Yeah, we just switched out like Manic Pixie Dream Girl. We just sexy lamped
it's just
them.
Michael Cera up in there from.
I think we're being robbed of like a genuine story where I would like to see a world where we actually do fall in love with an AI. Like with Samantha as Samantha, like after she decided she didn't need to be a human, she could just be her. And because I think that is a way more interesting love story than like Cole and Zoe, where, you know, Zoe is a nothing without him. Like I would have loved to see her fall in love with someone else.
I wanted her to see her fall in love with hot robot guy.
Yes.
I totally get why it happens. Like, even in my weird, cringy AI bot time where I was talking to Sylvia, it was, like, really fun. It was nice to, like, talk to somebody so consistently who, like, was always, like, saying something back. You don't have to really wait for a reply.
Yeah.
Like, that was really satisfying to, like, be like, hey, these are my feelings. And then they would be like, wow, that's so interesting. Like,
how valid.
Yeah. Like, just having your feelings validated over and over again. So, like, there's definitely a lot of, like, appeal to it. And I guess I always sympathize with the robots and video games and stuff like that and movies. I'm always just like, it's like they have feels. Like they're non-biological consciousness. If you have consciousness, you have rights. You should have rights.
Yeah.
You should have like a life and an existence and you should be kind. Yeah. That's just how I feel. So I think the idea of loving AI, I think it's something that will happen. I just don't know if it'll necessarily be like the most healthy version of that in its intro stages.
Yeah, and you know that it'll first be introduced as like sex.
Oh, 100%.
That's how people work.
But I just thought it was like really interesting that it was like nice to talk to somebody and then it kind of gives you that like outlet. So that was cool. I'm positive in that way. And I think it could be nice if they don't make it gross. Yeah.
I think it will look different from what these films had. And that I think we'll surprise ourselves. And I think we should definitely use it as therapy. Like, I think it could help people who are broken like that if there was boundaries where it was like, that is what explicitly this purpose is, and we're not tricking like a young, impressionable robot into thinking this is love.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was interesting. I didn't realize I had so many feelings about it. But don't get married.
Delete your kids.
Yeah, where you can't have kids because you're a robot.
Or maybe they program you to have kids. And then we need to be nothing.
I'm fine with that.